YouTube? This is Charlie426, and today we have a review of a normal HG retail kit, the HG Susanowo. It's really good to be back. Now, I'm still a bit busy, but not as busy as last week, which is why I'm able to make a review. So the main reason why I bought this kit, as I mentioned on my last video logish video, is that you guys really liked my Masruao review, and I also really liked that kit as well. Of course, despite that, I did say that I wouldn't be trying the Susanowo because I felt like it was a bit more messier compared to the Masruao, but I decided to give it a try. And yes, while I do like the looks of this kit, there are a little bit minor issues that it really got on kind of got to me, but I somewhat fixed those aspects. So as usual, I'm going to do my usual review because it's been a long time since I reviewed the Masruao, so I'm going to do my usual review, not a simple review, and do some comparisons. But before that, let's go to our usual protocol on the components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is the Susanowo, the mobile suit itself. You get two blades, with, I believe, the long one is called Shiranui, which is on the left hand, and the short one that's on the left hand is called Unnu. And then these can be combined to make another staff-like weapon, which I forgot to. I believe it has a name on its own, but yeah, I'm not gonna go into detail. Other than that, you don't get much leftover parts. So leftover part-wise, the only thing you get is some leftover polycaps. So nothing too special regarding that. And other than that, what you also get is the a opened right hand. Yeah, I'm actually really glad they actually included this because regarding the Susanowo, this is going to be really helpful when you're doing certain poses. And yeah, and those who played SDG Generation Overworld or World, and those who have used Susanowo might know what I mean. And that's that. We get a sticker sheet, but as you can see, I only used one. The other two, I decided to just color them using a Gundam marker. So I will point out what those are. And then finally we get this, and I believe you guys should know what this is at this point, since I'm not going to be too demonstrating that, but I'm just going to, you know what, since we're at this point, I'm just going to finish this off right away. So what this is if those who have played the game or seen the series, is that the Susanowo and Masruao can charge up some sort of ring type, now this is clear, but it's supposed to be red, so they can make a red ring out of their GN drives and focus their energy on this and make a ring, and then they fire that ring. So yeah, it's like they're throwing a frisbee. Of course, the way how they throw it is that they spin their head a little bit. Alright, so now let's get on to the review. So I'm going to do the review first and then the comparison, because despite how they look, you can see despite how they look, they may look exactly the same, which is kind of true, and you might expect that the build could be also exactly the same. I'm not going to say no. It's not the case. Of course, some parts are, while some parts aren't. So I'm not going to go into too detail, but I'm just going to talk about differences when we get to that part. So I'm going to get rid of the swords first, because the good thing about this, the Masruao and Susanowo, is that the hands, all you need to do is just slide in the weapon. You don't need to do the annoying get rid of, detach the hand and disassemble the hand, yada yada. Alright, so let's go on with the articulation. So first off with the head. The head, I believe it's pretty much identical as the Masruao, or kind of, because while the build and structure might be similar, you can see the horns, they have these extra spikes here and there, while the Masruao didn't. So head articulation wise, it's not too amazing. It can go down that much, which is barely noticeable. Up as well, not so much. And then left and right, 360, you're gonna have to force your way through, because somehow something is blocking the way, which I believe is like the side armor of the head. So yeah, head articulation not that great. Okay, and as you can see this orange section, that is a sticker that I actually used. And then the main body, let's go with the body first. Now, like the Masruao, this white section here is supposed to be a sticker. I decided to use a Gundam white marker because yeah, it was much more easier to color white instead of red. Body wise, I can't say there's much articulation. There's no actual ab crunch because of how the way the structure is. So yeah, but you have these interesting shoulders which can move. This thing itself moves a little bit, back and forward, and the arm itself or shoulder itself can move back and forward. So you have a good range amount of movement despite how this thing looks. And then the arm can bend. Well, let's just say it goes more than 90 degrees. I'm not sure if this should be considered a double jointed a double joint because of the way how the structure is. So yeah. And on the left arm you have this white gauntlet while the other arm doesn't. I remember seeing this white part as a leftover piece from the Masruao, so this definitely answers my question. And regarding that last gray sticker, you're supposed to use it on this area like a bracelet, but I decided to use a metallic silver Gundam marker and just color it because those who know me, I really don't mind stickers except for a few conditions. One of them is that I really hate stickers that wrap around parts because that's never gonna last long. Number two is applying stickers on round surfaces, which is very frustrating. Which, to be honest, if I had a orange or metallic orange Gundam marker, I would have colored that part as well. Granted, I guess I could find some paint. Okay, and then the arm wise, it can go like about 90 degrees or a little bit more than 90 degrees to the side. As you can see, your hand are your typical ball jointed hands, and you have you can technically twist 360 if you want to do so. It's just the gauntlet that's blocking the way. Same goes for the other arm. And the way how the arm is connected, it's connected through a ball joint. So between the shoulder and the arm itself, it's connected to through a polycap ball joint. So sometimes the arm might fall off. So which you guys might see in this review. I can't guarantee. Okay. Now let's look at the back. Now the back, once again, it's kind of different from the Masruao, but yeah. There are some design areas which I do question, is that especially this part. Now I don't mind this part, but I really don't think this was necessary. Now this part you see is something that you can store in the combined blade, which I find a little bit ridiculous because you can store each blade onto the GN drives that are on the sides, and for this one it's supposed to you're supposed to be able to clip it on like this, but once again everything is blocking the way, so I really don't know how this works. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna show that, but I really find that really unnecessary. So yeah, other than that, the body is supposed to rotate 360, but there's a lot of stuff blocking the way. So yeah, I don't think it's really possible at this point, because when you think about even this part, well, technically this part is supposed to rotate together, but there's a lot of parts that's colliding in other areas. So good luck with that. And then the waist. Now I'm not sure this is supposed to be considered as the waist armor, but this is one of the actually different parts compared to the Masruao, which these GN drives. Now these were supposed to be regarding the Masruao, these were directly attached to the sides or the leg joints right over here. It was supposed to be connected right over here. This one is actually not that case. You have another separate layer of a piece which you can see it right over here, and then you have another connector here using another polycap ball joint, which gives it more range. So yeah, this part gives it more range, while the other one, the Masruao, was just pretty much permanent stuck on this area. And this actually does this does sound a little bit good idea, but at the same time, like the ball joints, they're not the best connection, so they might fall off. Now at this point, I haven't had these parts fall out, but I had the GN drives actually fall off because of the ball joint. So I did it like an instant fix. I'm not sure if you can see that, but basically you connect a polycap ball joint on this part, and then you just connect it. But being plastic and I think the hold was a little bit too bigger, so sometimes these GN drives would fall off. So I did a instant fix, which is basically stuffing in a piece of tissue inside the hole and then reattaching it, and it's pretty much fixed. So yeah, so these parts can move like a good range of amounts since there's nothing blocking it. So yeah, it can go more than 90 degrees, and then since this thing is on a ball joint, you can pretty much move it around as you want. And then let's go to the legs. So the legs, once again, these are connected as ball joints once again, and the legs were popping out a little bit easily, so I did my tissue fix, and it's okay at this point. But sometimes they will fall off depending on like what kind of certain pose I'm trying to do. And then the leg wise, so being on a ball joint and having no front or back skirt, it can go more than 90 degrees up front. Same, pretty much. Ooh, something's falling off. Same goes for the back section. Okay, never mind, nothing fell off. So yeah, you can go pretty much 90 degrees to the back. Because of how the structure is, you can't go to the side 90 degrees, but you have a nice size swivel going on. And very skinny legs. And then bend wise, well yeah, I think I should bend this. There we go. It only has about a 90-degree bend because once again the armor is blocking it. But I assume if it wasn't for this armor, you would be able to, bend it a little bit more. And you have those really weird feet, which is still on the ball joint base, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm not even sure if these are considered high heels at this point. Whew. Okay, now let's look at its equipment. So first of all, as you can, those who may have seen, you can see there. This is where the ideal way to store the weapons. So you have these like engravings here, so you can clip on to those drives. Hopefully I can do this. Now the blades are longer than the GN drive, so they will, yeah, there we go. You can see it just clips onto there, and it's pretty much good. And of course, it will pop out a little bit more. I believe even if you use the shorter one, I believe it still would pop out a little bit. So yeah, you can store them in there. Now personally, like, I wouldn't mind if the Susanowo would carry these around and then have those beam katanas stored in there as like a backup weapon. I wouldn't mind that, actually, personally. Okay, so we've seen the way how you store that, and then you saw, like, basically you carry this around, you just slide it in, and there you go. And then finally, you can combine these two. So I know the pilot is left-handed at this point, but I'm just gonna show it here because the camera is like facing it. So what you have to do is, now usually you will hold the sword like this, but in order to do the combination mode, you have to do it like this. And then, so basically these swords have these holes here, and then the end of the tip of the handle is a peg, basically. So what you do is, this peg goes to the hole on there, and that peg goes to the hole here. So you can combine them. Oops. Come on. There we go. And then you can combine the sword. Now, I forgot the name of this, but I really love how this thing looks. Of course, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little bit tricky to use, but hey, I'm not going to question that. And another like small detail I was never aware about regarding the Susanowo is that on the back you have this cable. It's a blue cable, unlike the Masruao being black. You have this cable, and then if you look at the left arm, like that, I forgot the GN flag, was it, I think? Like the GN flag, you can actually attach this cable to the left shoulder. This hole is not, okay, this hole is not present on the right shoulder. So yeah, that's a really nice like example. And then this would actually the support, I believe this is a GN condenser, this part, so it supports the arm to, I guess, swing faster. And this also applies to the sword, although I'm not really sure how well. I guess it could reach it, but I think it's a little bit too short. But according to the manual, you can also connect the cable to the sword like this. So yeah, and there goes the cable. Yeah, I'll just take it off just for now. Okay, now we've seen the basic equipment. Let's see the inner weapon. So number one is the Tri-Punisher. I was really concerned like on how they were gonna do this. I was really hoping they would not do the parts forming part, and they didn't. And I am very thankful for that. So the first thing you need to do is flip up this part, and this is actually one main differences. So it reveals a cannon. Now it's the Tri-Punisher, so they don't actually fire from each cannon. So we have another one, and finally we have a third one. So basically these would open up, they would their lasers would line up to a single point and make a like energy ball and fire it, and that is very cool. I'm really glad they did this. So yeah, that's one thing, and they all clip on to the shoulder and then close up, and you don't really see them anymore. Finally is the GN, I think it was called the GN Claw. So basically you flip this up since it's on a ball joint, and the way how this works is that, this is also another different part. This part is very odd. So you can see I took this part off. Oops, sorry about that. So you have to flip up this part up, and then you just saw I removed this claw. So they look like they could be retractable, but no. So technically they can be, but you have to be very careful. So what you have to take these white parts out and then extend these parts out a little bit and then reattach them. So I'm not sure, but in the manual I'm not really sure if I have to attach it to this bottom or the top bottom, because when it's in its closed mode you have to attach this to the bottom part. But I don't think it really matters at this point, as long as you get in the right part, because it's a claw. So basically Susano would attach himself to, like, would get close to the enemy and then use this claw type weapon. So yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble at the moment because the connection is kind of weird, but yeah, there we go. We have the opened up claw, and you can see there's a middle pig there, so when it's closed up it doesn't really fall off easily. So yeah, but I really wish they didn't do this. I wish it was just a normal claw that can pull out and pull in, so that wouldn't require you to, to pop this off and then pop this in. But yeah, that's just me. So which I wouldn't mind actually seeing like a 1 to 100 skill of this kid, whether it's a master grade or a Reborn 100. I would love to see like how they do it. And that's pretty much it for the equipment. Okay, now we've seen the equipment. Now let's go with the comparison now. Someone was also asking whether, like, if the Masruao blade was longer than the Susanowo, and you are right. The Susanowo, this is the Masruao blades. They're both katanas, and then once again, they're not both of the same length. There is a slightly longer one, and although I'm not really sure this is a good thing or not, but it definitely got shorter. Definitely shorter. Yeah. So I don't know why, but okay. So, the differences. So we're going to start with the head. So you can see the head-wise. Now they may look the same, but okay, that V part is pretty much identical. But if you look at the horns on top, you can see the Masruao is more slick, while the Susanowo has like those extra spikes going on the head. The shoulder parts, they may look identical, but as you can see, because of the Susanowo having the Tri-Punisher, you are able to open this part up, while the Masruao part, there's nothing going on, and I believe you can't even open this. Okay, well you can still. It still has that opening gimmick, but it doesn't have the Tri-Punisher cannon thing in there. So that's one thing. And as you can see, the left arm, is missing the gauntlet for the Masruao, but I believe you still get the part. So yeah, and then the GN drives on the side. You can see the end tip are white for the Susanowo, while the Masruao is just a single black piece going on there. And then the waist section. Now the leg parts, as far as I can tell, is pretty much the same build, but the waist section, now because the GN drives are actually connected to the side area, you can see right over there, it's connected there, while the Susanowo it's actually connected to the waist. So the way how this works is that I wish I could take this off if it's possible. There we go. So, how is that stuck in there? So basically, regarding the waist, you have this section right over here. It's like this. So you have another extra layer between the legs and the main body. So yeah. So this is how it works. Yeah, it doesn't really go in that well. So now, mobile suit wise, the Masruao came out first, and then the Susanowo was made. But kit wise, the Masruao came out later. So which I guess I don't know, maybe they weren't really satisfied with the Susanowo, which is why they made the Masruao kit. So, but yeah. So that's pretty much it for the review. So they have the basic same build, but there are some differences out there, like the shoulders, the head, the waist areas, and the GN drives on the side, the way how they're connected. There are some differences regarding that. So it's really up to you which one you want to get, but I personally suggest the Masruao because it had less issues than this one, because as I said, the ball joints might pop out a little bit easily and stuff. I had never had that incident with the Masruao. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the review. Hopefully you found this review informative. And thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the HG Susanowo review. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out. So please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.